Hi Virgo. I'm so nervous to do this video. You have no idea. Oh my god, I'm such a Gemini. I was like, I'm not gonna talk about this. I'm not gonna talk about you guys in this video. I wasn't gonna talk about my personal thing. I was like, no, I'm not gonna talk about this. And now I'm already like okay, I'm gonna talk about it. You guys. So, okay, let's start this way and then I'll like wrap it back around to me because I know you guys want to know what's going on. You can feel what's going on and you're like, I like your stories, but like right now I need to know what's going on. So even though my story is really, really, really good, yo, it's such a Virgo story. Like when you hear this, you're going to be like, what? But I'm going to save it until after your reading because I, Virgo moon, if you're feeling the way I'm feeling, oh, I'm up in the mountains. At our winter house, and that's why it's so sunny. We're on the very top of a mountain. Leave it to military people to buy something at the top of a mountain, on like a cul-de-sac, so he can see everywhere. Like the zombies are coming. Anyway, so even though I want to tell you my story, my Virgo moon is feeling it, and I know you guys are feeling it, and I know the Virgos are feeling it. So like we'll talk about that later. Let's just get right into it. Okay, so you guys have so much stuff like coming up. Like I don't know where to start, and the excitement is kind of overwhelming me. And I know you guys don't like that. You guys like the calm. And I'm also gonna complain later about how like you wanted me to fix my tone, and then I fixed it, and then you guys criticized me for it. You guys are impossible. I love you, but you're impossible. Okay, so let's start off with the fourth. Venus, Mars, Uranus, all together. Surprise! Surprise, that person that you thought you didn't want back or thought you wanted back or didn't know you could have back, or someone you wrote off. Someone you didn't think could be a good partner because they didn't have enough money, or they weren't successful enough, or they weren't driven enough, or they weren't whatever XYZ that Virgo has figured out they weren't enough of and justified to yourself that that's why you didn't want to be with them. On the 4th, you're going to get like a surprise. That's why I'm going to put all these up on the same day on the 1st, because this month starts off like boom, bam. Okay, so I'm reading for you guys on Chinese New Year, so happy New Year. And even though I'm going to upload them all at once, just so you know, I'm doing your reading first. See how nice I am when I want to be nice? This is why Virgos can't stand Geminis, because they're like, why selectively nice? Why not nice and polite all the time? Why selectively? Where's that other twin? Where's the justification for this other being? And Gemini's like, you don't understand my existence. Can you tell how worked up I am about you guys? God, I love you guys. Okay, so right away, someone you wrote off, someone you were like, your logical mind, your analytical mind was like, no, that's not going to work. That person by the 4th, on the 4th, right around the 4th is like, oh, hey, boo. Check me out. How you doing? Are we gonna hang out? Are we hanging out? I mean, I didn't know. Were we having dinner or? And you're gonna be like, yes, we're having, yes. What, girl? I've been. Mm-hmm. And then, so someone you wrote off, but like you really wished that it would have worked out. Like you really wish that person was more what you needed them to be in those practical ways, so you could have had them. And now you're like, wow, look at you. Now this could be a very kind of sensual, earth-like, materialistic, pentacle-based, which is how it's coming up, wealth that this person has acquired. But it could just as easily be someone you had emotionally written off. Someone that you were like, no, this person can't grow past this point. Like I've done all the calculations and the risk, eval, and this person won't be evolving past a certain point. And that's why I can't, and now this person all of a sudden is like woke, and you're like, oh, Well, that was all that was really wrong with you. Now all of a sudden your checklist is like out the window. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Then on the 8th, the Sun and Mercury together, which is great for you, you know, because like other mutable signs, you guys, this Mercury retrograde, wasn't this one like a really bad one? I thought this particular one was terrible. Like, whoa, some of my technology is still suffering. I finally figured out like one thing yesterday where I was like, oh, maybe the shadow is finally letting up. So the Sun and Mercury together, yes, good. But here's what's going on. Now that you have this person or this thing coming back into your life, you're kind of looking at yourself, and the Sun and Mercury are in your house of house of health. So you're kind of like, okay, so am I in shape? Am I in fighting shape for this? What's going on? Like, go back to the gym, stop drinking, eat better. Right? Like it's like this. If I told you that 6 months from now, without question, which no one can do, right? I'm a God-fearing person. But if I could tell you for sure 6 months from now you'd meet your soulmate, for example, for sure, how would you change today? What would you start doing? Hi, Virgo. You guys are being so nice, too. You never realize that people bloom when you're nice to them. Then all of a sudden you're like nice for no reason and people get better and you're like, oh, I healed you. All I had to do was be nice and not criticize you every 5 seconds. I didn't realize that. Okay, but what I was saying was, if I could tell you unequivocally, absolutely for sure that you were meeting your soulmate, for example, in 6 months, what would you do today? If you knew from this point, from today forward, you have 6 months and then boom, bam, that person's going to walk into your life, what would you do? Most people say I'd go to the gym. They do. So go to the gym. That's what I always say back. So go to the gym. Why aren't you going? If you would go if you knew, are you trying not to meet your soulmate? You know what I mean? If that's one of the things that you would love to have down in terms of like how you look and where you could meet that person at any moment. Why aren't you engaging in that behavior now? So in the same way, because you know, Virgo, what's coming up now, you want to get it together? You want to aesthetically? Do you want to start putting yourself back together, please? Because, you know, you're going to want to look nice or whatever. So let's get it together with the drinking, the smoking, the self-medicating, the working out too much and not eating enough, all that stuff. Let's balance out because love is coming. This is a huge year for you in terms of love. So let's move on. Okay, let's move on. So far what we have on the table is the Star, 9 of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. I'll show you the rest of it in a second. I just want to get through what's happening planetary-wise, and then we'll tie it all together with the cards. Yes, I feel better. Yes, I went to Jamaica, and I realized that this person that I thought I was done being in love with, I'm not. This person also might be a Virgo. Oh my God. But we're not getting into that right now. So next up we have you. You see, it all ties into my story, but I'll tell it later. I know you guys hate when that, but it makes you curious, right? It like piques your curiosity. Okay. 12th house lunar eclipse. The past. The past. Something from your past. Something that you, again, just like at the beginning of the month on the 4th, something that you really wanted, but for some reason or other, you had to rule it out. It just wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to happen. Your brain convinced you, right? Your brain took hold of the situation, got a hold of your emotions, and was like, listen, this isn't going to work. We need to put this aside and compartmentalize it. Yes, you can feel that pain when you need to feel that pain, but right now we need to put this aside because we got to get our life together. And it's been a few years of terrible, right? Financial ups, downs, what's going on? How am I going to... I know. Are you liking the brown? Virgos like earth tones. And I'm up here with the brown and the green. So I thought, Valentine's Day, pink. Yeah, but like chocolate. Brown chocolate. Okay, anyway. So what's this lunar eclipse about? It's not just about the past. It's about releasing the things that you had wrong in the past, releasing the pain that you should have let go of but couldn't because the situation just had no real closure. How do you get closure for, thinking you did it right and that it was going to work and then it doesn't, right? So there's a lot of pain attached to some pretty core issues relationship-wise in the past that are going to get exposed during this lunar eclipse, and it's going to come up and it's going to be emotional. It's going to hurt. So it's important for you to, and it's the only one that I didn't write down the date for, which is also such a tease and so painful for you guys because you're like, oh, really? When's this painful day going to happen, Amber? Oh, you didn't write it down. No, I didn't. So you should Google that one. When's the 12th house lunar eclipse for you guys? I don't know why I didn't write it down. Might be the 17th, I want to say off the top of my head. And then on the 19th, we come into some really big stuff. Now, what is that? When you come up like this, when you come up as the Page of Pentacles, it's because you have relaxed. You have gone through the whole King of Pentacles, like ego-based thing. You have done the reticent, I'm going to pull back and not say anything and be stubborn. You've done the I'm going to put my head down and just work and act like nothing else exists. And you've done the be heartbreakingly lonely and not know what to do about it but just suffer in silence. And you've also done the take on just, a buddy and settle, and inside your aesthetic is like dying because you can't. And now you come back around in that ego circle. When you're all done with your ego, you come back around to here. Yes, my tone is a little bit soft. It's a little bit harsh. I've learned from the past couple of videos that you guys need it both ways. You're not happy with someone you can dominate, and you're not happy with someone dominating you. So it has to be like sometimes you get dominated and you love it, and other times you like someone to acquiesce to your demands. So I'm figuring it out. Awesome that you guys don't make it easy. So February 19th is when you have this huge thing happening, right? Where you've got all these planets in your 7th house of relationships, and you've got this solar eclipse in your house of relationships. This is when we come down to it. This is what sets the tone for your year romantically. This is some soulmate shit. Okay? This is like, let me put it to you this way. If you think you have a person, if you know deep in your heart that you have like a person, like that's my person, like that person was supposed to be my person, do not be surprised if that becomes a possibility again. Because like, I think in a lot of ways, 2017 is going to pay us back for 2016. Like 2016 was so horrible in so many ways. And especially in terms of emotions, like you guys found out a lot of like pretty bad stuff, right? Even towards the end of the year, it wasn't easy. Like there were still secrets coming out for Virgos, like even towards the very end of the year, Virgos were like, who am I with? What was this person doing? And he was cheating on me with who? Or, she turned out to be what kind of person inside? What? No, so 2017 kind of pays you back for all that by, your soulmate sensor is going off the charts. We stop lying to ourselves. Virgo moon included. We stop deluding ourselves. If you know you have a person, that person is coming back to you. If you know that there's like a soulmate person out there for you and you guys are playing games, that thing is going to progress. And you see, if after I said that all these cards fall out. Because now it's time for you to be brave. And I know you're not going to be brave if I don't yell at you. Why do you make me yell at you? You see what you make me do to you? That's so fucked up. That's so mean. I'm just kind of making up for the fact that last month's readings, I was so tired. I was so tired. Like, if you knew what my daily routine in Jamaica was, like, the way I seemed last month, you'd be like, oh my God, you seem so alive. I can't believe you looked so alive. Because, like, those 11 days, oh my God. Okay, so let's take a look at these cards, because quite a few of them just fell out, and they're very, very good. Okay, so here we go. We've got, to make sure that you can see all these, and it's not too bright. Is that good? Okay, so what are we looking at? We're looking at Seven of Swords, the Fool. Okay, this is a pretty good description of what's going to be going on here. You know you got to be brave. The soulmate situation is never easy. And of course you're terrified. Of what? Of betrayal, of the lies, you know, all of it. Getting hurt, oh my God, letting this person in, am I insane? What am I doing? Analytical brain is like, it's a trap, stop, please stop. A brave heart who is tired of being alone and lying to oneself is like, nah, homie, we are forging ahead this time. Put all the facts and figures away, put the spreadsheets away. We gotta run with it. And what do you have supporting you? Quite some. Quite some. You've got Strength, the Fool, and the Chariot. 3 major arcana. Okay, and what's the theme here? What are you guys looking at? You're looking at the strength and the fuel for the fire that you've been needing for at least a couple of months. I'd say going back a few years even. Here's your courage. Okay. Here's that open heart. Trusting. Gotta trust. Gotta trust it'll be different. Gotta trust that people change. Gotta trust that you've changed. Gotta trust that you did stuff wrong that you're okay with admitting, and that doesn't mean that your world falls apart because you're not perfect. And the speed that you've been missing, the stop and start of it all has been awful, hasn't it? Now the train runs smooth. Why? Because right away on the 4th, you're getting this shock. Right? That thing you wanted, oh man, you wanted it, right? It just did not work. And then boom, that person, that thing, that business opportunity, that person you've been in a relationship forever and you thought that they were never going to get out of their funk. Whatever that thing is, that lost, you know what it is. You know what you yearn for, that you lost, that you wish you had back. That thing on the 4th coming out of nowhere and being like, what's up? You good? I'm good. Check me out. I'm chilling. I look good on paper and on Instagram. No, I'm kidding. And then you responding towards your life and the new year in general with just vitality and hope and a young, youthful spirit, and slow, for sure. Slow, always slow. Must analyze, must think it through, but still open, not rigid. Okay? And what do we leave behind? Of course, everyone can be like this at some point. But do we live our lives caged in from the fear of this? Do we run so fast from this, from the fear of deceit? Do we run so fast from it that we run right into a cage? Or do we boldly pick our heads up now and walk right off a cliff? It's okay. It's okay. Be brave, and the chariot won't let you fall down. You're all right. You got this. I'm sorry I'm laughing so much. So, you can see how it's a really, really good reading and quite concise, and I'll tell you why. It's because things are just becoming clear in general, like for all the signs. Like December, November was leading into the murky and people were already starting to get frustrated. And I was like, oh God, if people are frustrated now, what's it going to look like in December? Because December is just going to be like yo, are you gonna go? Or like, how much more blood do you want before you go? You know what I mean? So now, November, December, even January, with like, you know what my January was like. It's like, I'm gonna stop trying. I give up. You guys didn't get to see any of that frustration because your video got done and it was so pretty in Jamaica with the water and everything. You know, I always make sure that the Virgo video is pretty because you guys love beauty. But so you didn't get to hear any of my frustration about that trip because at that point I still thought everything was going pretty much okay. Like I still thought I would be able to get some more videos done, but you know, January was really tough. It wouldn't get started. It wouldn't you know, sorry, like just it wouldn't move. And now things are just moving. And we finally have a clear direction here, Virgo, and you need that as much as you can be indecisive and as much as you're like, oh, I want to entertain this option and I like it and this is good. You have some direction right now. And in terms of love and money, both ruled by Venus, you are in a great place to acquire them. Just don't be scared, one. But two, how do I put this? You know, sometimes when you want something for a long time and then you get it, you can be like the way Virgos are, like they don't want you to think that they're like faking an emotion. You know what I mean? They don't want you to think that they're being too grateful or too happy or too into you or anything because they don't want you to think that they're being inauthentic. You know, it's not because they don't want to profess an emotion. It's just that it's really important to them to be authentic. And so they don't want to come across as too much, you know, so be mindful of that. When you have these good things coming back into your life, open your mouth and speak those things, say those things, you know, I'm really happy that this is going this way for you, or I'm really happy that we're back in. It's okay to express those things without being you can do that without being false. You know, not everything has to be done with the subtle silence of a Virgo. See, I'm being nice to you, but then I'm like hitting you, and then I'm being like, just not hitting you, I'm like pushing you a little bit. Because you guys are like, no, do both. I like it when you're harsh, and I don't want to just be harsh to you. I feel bad doing that. I can't just keep doing that. You guys like, no, don't turn me into a dominatrix. I just want to help you, so I'm going to do both. I'm just going to dig at you here and there a little bit. You can do it back. I'll let those comments go. It's okay. But I am stopping playing with my hair now. Have you noticed? Because y'all really don't like it. So, there's that. February looks amazing. You made it all the way here, Virgo. Focus on your health for a little bit. Get yourself together. There's so many good things coming. You know you want to look good when you get there. Right? Especially the Virgo women. Virgo women are so beautiful. You know you guys want to look really good when you get there. So let's get to it. All right? I love you guys so much. I'll see you next month. Oh, happy Valentine's Day.